Hello friends. Welcome to Current Affairs Review. Topic for today's video is Evolution of Indian Planning, from 5-year plan to Niti Aayog, Part 1. India's leaders did not wait until after independence to plan India's route to growth. Instead, discussions began long before the 5-year plan was adopted because they understood the need for planned development. Nehruji was fascinated by Russia's socialist ideology and development goals, and he believed that similar problems, including as poverty and illiteracy, could be solved more readily if Soviet Russia could. As a result, his enthusiasm for Soviet Russia's development ambitions persuaded the All India Congress Committee in 1929 to declare that revolutionary reforms were required for the present social and economic structure of Indian society. M. Visvesvaraya, a prominent civil engineer and former Diwan of the Mysore state, suggested the first plan in India, and the strategy of the plan proposal was defined in his book The Planned Economy of India, published in 1934. Although the British refused to accept this idea, but it did spark a desire for national planning among educated Indian citizens and leaders. This urge was strengthened in 1935 when the leading organization of Indian capitalists, Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry, FICCI, recommended national planning, covering the entire area of economic activities. In 1937, after Congress won elections with Netaji Subhas Chandra Bose as the party president, a conference was called for the ministers of industries of the Congress party. Hence, under the chairmanship of Nehruji, National Planning Committee (NPC) was set up in 1938, but it got disrupted due to the World War II and the Quit India movement. The Constitution and Economic Program Committee, set up in 1947, suggested setting up the Planning Commission. These developments led to the publishing of the first industrial policy resolution in 1948 by the Congress. On the one hand, a society was observed that was attempting to build governmental control while also respecting private property rights, while on the other hand, a strong dedication to democracy and equality was evident. Initial years after 1947 saw various activities related to constitution building, and as they were winding up, the question of establishing Planning Commission revived once again. As a result, the Commission requested the central and state governments to submit their resource and development project budgets so that work on the first 5-year plan could start shortly. The first 5-year plan was set up in 1951, which had a target of laying foundation for industries, provide proper healthcare and education at affordable price. Now private sector was to operate within provision of the Industries, Development and Regulation Act 1951, as per which new industrial unit and expansion would be made only with a license issued by the central government. For steel plant construction, 3 separate agreements were signed with 3 countries by the government, which will be built in Rourkela, Durgapur and Bhilai. The proposal of final version of the plan was land reform, which would involve significant land redistribution, with a new principle having an upper limit of land an individual can hold. Construction of dams was necessary to build India's power generating capacity. At the end of the first plan, 5 IITs started as technical institutions. In addition, to take care of the funding and higher education in the country, the University Grants Commission was set up. Jawaharlal Nehru was deeply influenced by the USSR's industrialization, believing that manufacturing should be state-owned and regulated for the sake of society, with private players playing a role. Based on this very idea, the second 5-year plan, 1956 to 1961, was commenced in India. The second plan was for industrialization and building, since the young nation needed to catch up with the pace of the world. Renowned statistician Professor P.C. Mahalanobis was the architect of the plan, who used Soviet economist G. A. Feldman's idea of resource allocation. For the long-term economic benefits, the second plan focused on shifting towards developing capital goods and heavy industry. Although the second five plan was more of developing capital goods and industry, there was poverty, unemployment, food crisis and foreign exchange crisis which was still an issue. It was against this background, the general pattern of resources and outlay of the third five-year plan were being discussed around November 1958 by the Planning Commission. The meeting of National Development Council held in 1959 talked about the main aim of the plan to bring about institutional change and setting up village cooperative and state trading of food grains. But the implementation of the plan collided with some unexpected early difficulties: Sino-Indian conflict in 1961 to 1962, drought-led famine in 1965, rising inflation and cost of living. Looking at the failures of the third five-year plan, the fourth plan due in 1966 was cancelled, and instead, the government was forced to declare plan holidays from 1966 to 1969. Due to series of wars and famine, military spending skyrocketed. The deficit spending increased, accelerating the already severe inflation. Under the leadership of Indira Gandhi, the fourth five-year plan, 1969 to 1974, was adopted. The plan had two main objectives, which was based on Gargill formula, that is growth with stability and progress towards self-reliance. The nationalization of 14 commercial banks, which took place in 1969, was regarded as an admirable step to extend credit facilities to the lower segment of the population. Ordinary farmers, small entrepreneurs and businessmen could now make improvements by taking loans and accessing banking facilities. The industrial production also witnessed a decline during the fourth plan. The threat of nationalization and the stringent licensing policy imposed dampened investment sentiments, caused the industrial growth rate to deplete, which was less than 4%. To combat the population explosion, family planning programs have been brought during the fourth plan. We will continue with our discussion in the next video, where we will look into the remaining five-year plans and also the era of Niti Aayog. Download material for this issue from our website. Please like and share this video. Please subscribe our channel and hit the bell icon to stay updated. Thank you.